Moving on, we have Miss Kausar Mir Gulzar, and their topic for the research paper is COVID-19 and the Tablighi Jamaat conference, which was held in Delhi, a content analysis of Indian newspapers. Kausar, let us know when you're ready. You can start screen sharing and continue with your presentation.
So, good noon, everybody. Am I audible?
Yes, you're audible and your screen is also visible.
Just a second. Okay, so this is Mir Kausar Gulzar, and I have done my master's from Central University of Kashmir from the Department of Convergent Journalism. So, the topic of my research was COVID-19 and Tablighi Jamaat conference in Delhi, a content analysis of Indian print media. Uh, we all know that human progress has never been so smooth, and we have reached here surpassing innumerable ups and downs. And year 2019 posed a novel challenge to the mankind in the form of SARS-CoV, which is popularly known as COVID-19. The first case of COVID was reported on 30th of Jan 2020 in India. I mean. So soon after the World Health Organization declared it pandemic, a conference of Muslim preachers called Tablighi Jamaat, it was held in Delhi, which included preachers from all over the world. And a lot of among them were tested positive for COVID, and the first death from the congregation was reported in Srinagar, Jammu and Kashmir. So, a type of surge of fake news and Islamophobic propaganda was seen all across the mainstream media, as well as on social media. For instance, I would like to give an example. Media Scanner, it's a fact-checking website. It compiled at least 69 fake videos which were against Muslims and Tablighi Jamaat, and they which were like circulating across the mainstream. So. Uh, I try to study the portrayal of Indian newspapers like Indian print media towards the Tablighi Jamaat conference, and uh, based on the topic of my research, I have selected some objectives, rather chose some objectives which were to distinguish the difference of coverage between the national and regional newspapers. I also aim to study the agenda setting of newspapers towards the Muslims after the incident. I wanted to see the treatment of newspapers towards the Muslims or towards the Tablighi Jamaat after the incident, like whether was it positive, negative, or neutral. Coming to the main part of my research, which is methodology, I analyzed data both qualitatively as well as quantitatively, and four newspapers were selected as sample, which included two national newspapers, that's the Hindu and Times of India, and two regional dailies were included, which are Greater Kashmir and Rising Kashmir. These both are prominent newspapers of Kashmir. Jammu and Kashmir, I mean. I preferred to use a coding sheet and then tabulated the data in order to get the desired results. And the units of my analysis were news stories, articles, editorials, columns, pictures, graphs, and cartoons. So here are some graphical representations of my data, but I have also put them into the figures. Here you can see this is the quantitative analysis. I mean, the Hindu, it had published total number of 67 hard news stories, which included 7 positive and 15 negative, 45 neutral, 1 editorial, and 24 pictures, which included 2 cartoons as well. And the Times of India, it published total number of 72 hard news stories, which included 7 positive, 30 negative, 52 neutral, 2 editorials, which included 1 column, and 26 pictures, which included 2 cartoons as well. So this is the treatment of regional newspapers, which here you can see Greater Kashmir and Rising Kashmir both published total number of five hard news stories. Like Greater Kashmir published three number of editorials, and Rising Kashmir published one editorial. So this was all about the quantitative analysis. Coming to the qualitative part, uh, the study concluded that both the regional as well as national media it gave a reasonable coverage to the issue, and there was a huge gap. The like national print media it gave a wide coverage to the issue, while as the regional newspapers they covered it very, they were seen very passive in the coverage. So it might be because of due to the countrywide lockdown and restrictions, there were restricted internet also in Jammu and Kashmir after the abrogation of Article 370, and there might be also the agenda setting and policies of the papers to cover certain issues. So we saw that the overall tone of the newspapers it was neutral, but there were certain stories which were I must say controversial in nature. For example, on 8th of April 2020, Times of India it quoted Vishwa Hindu Parishad's joint secretary as whole country is in serious crisis due to the countrywide criminal misdeeds of Tablighi Jamaat. And another story was covered by the Hindu on April 4, 2020, quoting Ashwani Avasthi as ये ना कानून को मानेंगे ना व्यवस्था को, ये मानवता के दुश्मन है. Like they will never follow the law and order, they are the enemies of the humanity. So Greater Kashmir also published a column blaming Tablighi Jamaat as super carriers of COVID. So further there were also some news stories which later turned to be fake. For example, Tablighi Jamaat it had asked for non-vegetarian food and defecated in open in a quarantine center in Saharanpur, etc. And news stories were like these were published a lot in both the newspapers in the Hindu and this Times of India. But the Logical Indian, it's a again a fact-checking website. It again declared them wrong and untrue. So this was all about my research. Thank you.
Thank you, Kausar, for your research. A very important one and an interesting one. Just one suggestion again from my end, because all of you are students. So I feel, you still can incorporate certain suggestions. Just one suggestion.
Yes, ma'am.
It is very important for a researcher when you're carrying out a research on any topic. It is very important to be very objective. We have to look at every topic from a very third person's point of view. It is very natural that we will research on a topic that is very close to our hearts. But then, as a researcher, you're supposed to look at the topic from a very objective viewpoint.
Yeah.
Ma'am, would you please give me an example of that biasness? Because I try to be very unbiased throughout my research.
uh, I'm sure you must have, yeah, I'm sure you must have tried to do that. But I have gone through the abstract also that you have written, and I feel you could have brought in more objectivity to your writing. So that is just one suggestion from my end. I'm sure you will incorporate that in this and any other research that you take up in future
Okay, ma'am.
course.
Sure,
But a
sure.
very good topic and very good work, very good presentation. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you, Kausar. With